Hello, and welcome to these 3 workshops which form part of the Dance Scottish at Home summer celebration. My name is Ian Muir, and I'm also joined by Gillian Stevenson on fiddle. These workshops will give you a flavour of what takes place during the St Andrews Summer School music courses. Of course, 3 one-hour sessions can only scratch the surface of what gets covered in a week's full course. In this workshop, the second in the series, we will look at the genre of Strathspeys. We will explore the style and the technique that makes these uniquely Scottish and that will give the dancers the inspiration they need to dance well. Hopefully you will have already had a look at the materials that we have prepared so that the tunes are familiar. Please bear in mind that these workshop videos are not a professional production and were recorded at home, on phones, in my case with the builders working on the next door house. So, in Scottish country dancing, there are principally 2 types of Strathspey. First came the traditional Strathspeys, angular, gritty and full of drive, and now we also have the slow air, or sometimes called pastoral Strathspey. The first of these was published by the Society, which was the Lee-Rig, and appeared in Book 21. So, let's get ourselves warmed up. Let's play through a set of pastoral Strathspeys, each tune twice. I'll count you in, and we'll be playing at this speed. So let's play each tune twice with a chord at the end, and I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, and... I'm sure that sounded good, although you may be feeling rather exposed as you sit at home playing along with the video. Hopefully the backing track helps and makes you feel part of a larger group. You can obviously stop the video and rewind and go over any section as many times as you like. The music and the backing tracks will also be available on the RSCDS website. What is contained in these workshops is not the gospel of what is right or wrong. It is based on what we have both learnt playing for Scottish country dancing for a number of years, learning from watching, listening and talking to other musicians, and what dancers tell us helps them dance well. As I have already said in Workshop 1, have a go at what we suggest, even if you disagree, as in coming to that decision, the process of thinking about how you play will invariably have changed what you do. Our aims as musicians, then, is to lift the dancers off the floor and inspire them to want to move to our music. This doesn't just happen by chance, and there are things that we do as musicians that cause this to happen. What we are aiming to do in these workshops is to begin to reveal some of the mystique that surrounds playing for dancing, and in this case, the Strathspey. In yesterday's workshop on jigs, we examined some of the simple articulation which is instrument-based, and much of that still applies in this workshop. Your playing needs to be crisp and light, and not legato and turgid. So what do we mean by that? We don't mean this. This is more of what we are aiming for. Just imagine the impact that those two types of playing would have on you if you were a dancer. So for accordions, it's almost as if the right hands are hot. The left hand is a crisp bass, not what some call a honking bass. This will give you more air in the bellows to use for the nuances and expression that we're looking for. I also try to keep to the rule 4 bars in and 4 bars out with the bellows. It will depend on how tight your box is. Mark your music if you find this difficult at first. You will find that you will vary this anyway depending on what you're playing. It's not an exact science. For fiddles, generally try and use the upper part of the bow and aim for a down bow on the first beat of the bar. Watch the videos of Gillian playing. You will see there what we're talking about. For keyboards, keep your bass crisp and listen to the balance between your right hand and left hand, and keep your right hand short. Thinking about the light and shade of your right hand technique and the balance between the left and the right hand is really important. So for keyboards then, this is what we're trying to avoid, and then I'm going to play 8 bars of what we're aiming for. So thinking about all of those things, let's have another go at the music of Spey. Let's play 32 bars, the same speed. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, and... Did you hear and feel the difference? And again, if you were a dancer, imagine the effect that would be having on you. You now need to try and build this into your playing every time you start playing. The next area, which I think is very important, is phrasing. Strathspeys, I believe, should be phrased in 2-bar phrases. Now, some players will say it's 1-bar phrases, but I found that this makes the dancers bob up and down rather than get flight and travel into their steps. So I maintain that beat 1 of bar 1 is important, but so is beat 1 of bar 2, but it's not quite so important. So you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and that builds your 2-bar phrase. So it's important to focus on the links between bars 2 and 3, 4 into 5, 6 into 7, etc. Let's take the first 16 bars of the Music of Spey and see if we can put this into practice.
1, 2, 3, and.
Hopefully, you will have noticed the difference again. This helps the dancer move and especially gives them the impetus for the flight they need. The last bit of detail we need to focus on here is the Scottish snap. It doesn't often appear in slow air Strathspeys, but it does appear in the first tune in this set, at bars 2 on the second beat and bar 6 on the second beat. The Scottish snap is unique to Scotland, and it is very characteristic of the more traditional Strathspey. The semi-quaver note is the most important note, but it needs to be got rid of as quickly and cleanly as possible. But remember, it's the first note which is the important note, not the second note. So it needs to sound like this. So let's just play the first bars of the Music of Spey, focusing on the Scottish snap, getting the important note as the first note, and I'll count you in.
1, 2, 3, and.
Did you get that? Just to make sure, we'll do it again.
1, 2, 3, and.
So let's see if we can sustain everything we've talked about so far over 32 bars of the tune. So this would be twice through the tune. What we're looking for is good articulation, phrasing, and clean delivery of the Scotch snap. 32 bars of the Music of Spey. I'll count you in.
1, 2, 3, and.
Did it work? You can obviously stop the video and go back to repeat points and check detail. Now let's have a look at the next tune, another tune by Scott Skinner. Let's play through it twice just to get ourselves familiar with it.
1, 2, 3, and.
This lyrical tune gives us an opportunity to add a second part. So have a look at the second stave, the second line on the music. Let's play it all together, just the 16 bars. I'll count you in.
1, 2, 3, and.
We're not going to look at tune 3. It was originally written as a march, but it makes a beautiful slow air or pastoral Strathspey. I first heard it played like that by Craig McCallum. For the accordions it's a bit more technical and you will need to think about your fingering. The 2-bar phrases really make sense in this tune. If you played it as a 1-bar phrase it would feel very lumpy. So I'll leave you to go away and work at tune number 3. You can always go back to the video at the beginning or the end of this section as the tune appears third in the set. Now let's look at the last tune, Joan Russell. This actually was written originally as a slow air and it would have been played with lots of emotion and no strict tempo at all, and the player would pull the tune around to get the desired effect. Obviously we can't do that if we're playing for dancing, so it has to be strict 4 beats in a bar. Let's try 16 bars. I'll count you in.
1, 2, 3, and.
This tune again gives us an opportunity to add a second part. This time I would give this second part to the fiddles in my band. So let's have a look at the counter melody for this tune. We'll all play it together and it's 16 bars, so we'll just play 16 bars to start.
1, 2, 3, and.
Did that work? Good. Let's now play the whole tune twice through to equate to 32 bars. First time we'll play it straight. Second time, if you feel like it, have a go at the counter melody.
1, 2, 3, and.
To bring this section to an end, let's play through the whole set, twice each tune, and let's put into practice all that we've talked about so far. Those instrumental techniques that give you the right sort of playing for Strathspeys, the 2-bar phrasing, the clean Scotch snap where it appears, everything that helps make it sound Scottish. So here we go, a set of slow air Strathspeys, 4 times 32 bars. I'll count you in.
1, 2, 3.
That brings us to the end of this part of the workshop on Strathspeys. Go and make yourself a drink, go and have a rest, and we'll see you in the second half.